The second Prudential World Cup was played over 2 weeks in June 1979 in England. It was won by the West Indies when they beat England comprehensively in the final by 92 runs to become champions for the second time. The player of the tournament was Vivian Richards. Not only did he produce a defining 138 not out in the final, he also bowled a few overs, took 3 wickets for a decent economy rate in the tournament. In fact, he took none for 35 in 10 overs in that final, and with that 138, it was easily the highest impact performance of that World Cup. What a time to produce it. The final, in fact, was on a knife's edge at one point. West Indies batting first were 99 for 4 at one stage, with the English bowlers having used the conditions well. Richards was joined by Collis King, who produced one of the most remarkable and underrated batting performances in World Cup history. In 66 balls, he hammered 86 with 10 fours and 3 sixes at an unthinkable strike rate in those days when there were 60 overs per innings. Besides Richards and King, no one crossed 20 in that innings. To provide perspective, that innings of 86 by Collis King is higher impact than more famous batting performances in World Cup final history, like MS Dhoni's in 2011 or Ponting's in 2003. He wouldn't have known it then, but this was overwhelmingly his life's highest note being struck. After this match, King played just 10 more one-day games and never crossed 35 once. In fact, King's highest scores in his 18-match ODI career were 34 and 86, both at breakneck speeds, and they came in the semi-final and final of the 1979 World Cup. For these two timely performances, Collis King was the highest impact batsman of that World Cup, despite being 11th in terms of runs tally and 9th in terms of batting average. Another strange end to a career came for the second highest impact player of the tournament, Pakistan captain Asif Iqbal. He was magnificent right through the tournament, the best player if you do not consider the tournament defining value of Richards. He took 9 wickets in the tournament, which is the joint second highest, and scored 129 runs at an average of 43. No one absorbed the pressure of falling wickets more than him in the tournament. His innings of 61 after Pakistan were 34 for 6 against England being the most notable one. This was his finest ODI performance in a tournament or a series, and it turned out to be the last one he played. In fact, Asif Iqbal captained his team to a landmark series in India just after this, which turned out to be his last test series as well. Asif Iqbal made just 17 in the semi-final against eventual champions West Indies, which could have been the difference between the two teams in that game. Otherwise, given how well Majid Khan and Zahir Abbas played, Pakistan should perhaps been in the final. And if they had met England there, who knows how different cricket history would have been. The highest impact bowler in the tournament was Colin Croft. He was consistent right through the tournament and got a tournament-defining performance for his 3 for 29 in the semi-final. Joel Garner was less consistent, but his tournament-defining performance in the final for his 5 for 38 made him the second highest impact bowler in the tournament. Michael Holding's conventional numbers were actually better than both, but he did not get a tournament-defining performance, which kept him lower impact than these two. England's Mike Hendrick, who had a dream summer, was the highest wicket taker of the tournament, but he was 6th on the impact list, if we take minimum as 3 matches, due to his relative inconsistency and for not getting a tournament-defining performance. New Zealand reached the semi-finals for the second successive time, which many saw as an overachievement. But they played very well as a team. They had class players like Richard Hadlee, Glenn Turner, Lance Keynes, John Wright and Bruce Edgar. Brian McKechnie bowled well too. There was a short-lived career amidst them too. Warren Stott played his debut ODI game against Sri Lanka and took 3 for 48, but he never played another one-day match in his life. Australia were Kerry Packer stricken and did not do well in the tournament. India were not, but they were absolutely miserable in the tournament all the same, losing even to non-test playing nation Sri Lanka. Their highest impact batsman, interestingly, was G.R. Vishwanath, who would retire before the next World Cup. And their highest impact bowler was, interestingly, Mohinder Amanath, whose career seemed over barely a few months after this tournament, but would revive remarkably in 1982 and climax spectacularly in the next World Cup.